Well done. You're past the stage of idle contemplation and you want some information about what to expect for your first track day. Maybe where to sign up, which we'll go over, or if you've already signed up, what you need to do to prepare for what will likely be one of the most memorable experiences of your life. Your first kiss, your first PhD, easily forgettable once you know what it feels like to slide on four wheels. And you'll do just that. Although racing is not for the faint of heart and there are certain risks involved, it's statistically probable that in your racing career you'll have many instances of loss of traction and off-track driving from which you'll gain valuable experience. So being timid or driving in fear of experiencing a non-optimal scenario will not do well to increase your ability. But with that being said, that brings me to point number one, drive a slow car. Now I say this because a slow car, in my opinion, and in the opinion of many other instructors at the track, is going to train you to become a fast driver faster than a fast car. Now, if you have the latest and greatest sports car and you want to throw it around and have some fun, by all means. But if you see a future for yourself in auto racing, bring your slow stock car with squishy springs and skinny street tires and push it to its limit. It's going to give you wonderful feedback in the form of body roll, squat, dive, and that heavenly sound of your four-tire choir singing soprano as they struggle to keep your all hoopty facing forward. I would even go so far as to recommend an automatic transmission. I'll make that 0.1 auto trans is good. I went through the whole HPDE program and even time trialed my automatic transmission for a whole year. Even if you consider yourself king of downshifts and you think all your gear changes are smooth as butter, you're gonna be overwhelmed. Let me ask you, have you ever panic braked to avoid rear-ending a car? You slam the brakes as hard as you can, your coffee flies into the windscreen, and the smell of tire smoke rises up from the floorboard. We brake that hard before every single turn. Some tracks have more than 20 turns and are an approximate 2-minute lap. That breaks down to a panic brake every 6 seconds. Now you have to shift. It's a lot to think about, trust me. I don't mean this to discourage new manual drivers, it just makes the learning curve a little bit steeper. All right, we covered cars, tires, transmissions, but where do I sign up? I mentioned to drive. Well, the track day big boys in these parts are NASA and SCCA. I haven't personally been to an SCCA event, but I've been with NASA for 8 years now and it's been all smiles. Chances are there's a track within a few hours from you and a NASA event within the next month if you're watching this from February to October. Check the link in the video's description and let's talk about what NASA requires. Point 2, bring approved safety equipment. All right, for a bona fide, comprehensive list of what you need to have, please consult your club codes and regulations. But let's go over the basics, starting with helmets. Your helmet should fit your head. Sounds like a stupid thing to say, but if you have the most up-to-date helmet standard, which is currently Snell 2020, and it fits loose, it's not going to protect you. If you're borrowing a helmet from someone else or from the club, ensure that it fits as tight as possible without causing discomfort. Because even when you're being a knucklehead and you full send your mom's sedan into the tire wall, we want your noggin to be safe. That way when you come back, we can scold you and you'll be able to retain what we're saying. For seats and seatbelts, it's best if you leave everything stock from the car manufacturer. Heads up to you with custom safety equipment, seat, roll bar, 5-point harness. It'll be held under scrutiny, and I've seen people have to pack up early because they weren't able to resolve an issue with seatbelt fitment. If you've already modified the safety equipment in your car, please take a look at the relevant section of your CCR and reach out to your chief of tech if you have any questions. It's a humbling experience to have to go home early after you were so excited to race, which brings me to point number 3, humble yourself. I know, you're thinking, I want to go fast, man, why are you talking about personal stuff? Well, it's critical for your growth. As racers, we seek thrill, and we're crazy enough to risk life and limb to drive around in a circle as fast as we can, so we're naturally a bit aggressive, a bit thick in the skull. But humbling yourself to your instructor and recognizing that their driving is far superior to yours will help you receive their instruction, thereby improve over the course of one day or one weekend. Of all the students I've taught, only about half of them have made a real noteworthy improvement from the first session to the last, and the other half simply weren't receiving the instruction I was providing. By the end of the day, they didn't grow very much. On a related note, communicating your goals to the instructor on grid before your first session is going to be a valuable component of what you learn. If your goal is to have fun and throw your car around and you plan a track day every blue moon, your instructor is going to tailor their feedback differently than if your goal is to climb the ranks and race professionally. This is usually the first or second question I ask my students, but if it doesn't get brought up, make sure you express it and make sure the car you're both sitting in is safe for turning at 100 plus. Point 4, maintain your vehicle. You're gonna be stressing your car out. Change your oil, change your brake fluid. You know how when you're stressed out, you eat chocolate cake? Well, your car likes fresh motor oil. NASA has an easy to follow tech inspection checklist, so go over it, print it out, go over it with yourself or a qualified mechanic if you're a little new to wrenching. That way you don't have any surprises crop up when you show up for inspection. I'll link it below. While it is important to check all your fluids and top them off, running fresh brake fluid through the system to flush out the old fluid is often overlooked, but it's so important. DOT 3 and DOT 4 brake fluid absorb water throughout their life. And the more water they absorb, the lower the boiling point. The lower the boiling point, the further you can get your car out into the infield when your brakes don't work, going into turn 1 on lap 4. And there are better ways to practice rally driving if that's your goal. Proper maintenance will many times keep your car out of the dirt. But when something does break, and I say when, not if, because it will, bring some tools. Now, I only give this half a point because the truth is you shouldn't stress too much about bringing all the right tools. The 3 things I believe you should absolutely have your own of are a tire pressure gauge, the correct lug socket for your car with a torque wrench, and some cleaning supplies. You want to check the torque on your lug nuts periodically. For all other tools, just use some common sense. A cheap mechanic's toolkit from Harbor Freight will go far. And if something really troublesome happens, there are dozens of people at the track with lots of tools and equipment that would love to get your car working and get you back in your sessions. I don't condone having a freeloading attitude, but we all want to see more people at the track enjoying the sport. So if there's some kind of limitation in your head about having to have a certain amount of equipment before you plan your first track day, forget it. Bring your car out and let's have fun. But there is one more thing. You need to get yourself the proverbial chocolate cake of your own maintenance because you are going to be stressed out too. Not in a bad way. It's just a lot of new information coming at you at once. And you're going to be driving faster than you've ever driven. You'll hear this 100 times at a NASA event, but it's only because it's so important. Stay hydrated and stay salty too. Too much water and not enough electrolytes will actually not hydrate you, so you need both. Bring your favorite salty snacks, plenty of water to drink, and make sure you're physically and mentally prepped for the day because it's gonna be exhausting. But unlike the day you passed the bar or heard your child's first words, you'll never forget it. Get at those links below, prep your car, get signed up for a track day, check out our other videos at the end of this one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you at the track.